Hi, this is Rick Julian, Chief Creative Officer of QV, and this is the Deep Dive. When my wife and I first got married, I tried to do the things that had always worked with me in past relationships to get connected. Yeah, and so I would do notes and flowers and things like that. Gifts. That works, right? Well, not so much. I think she liked him, but it was like, okay. So that was a bit frustrating, kind of not, I couldn't really get it in my head or understand why that wasn't connecting. That always works, right? No. So I ended up getting a book that was referred to me. It was called Love Languages. Something like that. Google love languages and you'll land at the right place. And I think there are 5 of them. Gifts are one of them. Physical touch, acts of service, words of encouragement and appreciation, and something else, right? So the premise of the book is it's not about giving the person what you would like to receive for yourself, which is how I think we often start this kind of exercise of trying to make connection. But it's really about finding out what they want, what their language is, and then fulfilling that want and what that need is. Same thing happens. And so when I started cleaning the kitchen, my act of service, after I found out her love language was act of service, and I started cleaning the kitchen on a regular basis, bingo. The eagle has landed. Connection. It's the same thing in our branding. I think we come at connecting with our audiences, which is really what this is all about. We come at it with the bag of tricks that we have as professionals that have worked over time. It doesn't work every time, but it works enough that we think that's the thing that we just go to. And you get into certain situations where what you're doing is just not working. But the problem isn't a them problem. It isn't a problem with your audience. It's a problem with how you are approaching the audience, how we are approaching the audience. We have obviously not uncovered what their language is, and we have defaulted to the assumption that our language is what they should want. Yet it's clear that isn't what they want. So what we really have to do is get into a deeper level of conversation with them. Audiences shift, their tastes shift over time. This is not what has always worked with this audience, will not always work for them in the future. Culture shifts, psychology shifts, things change. So it may have worked in the past, but that doesn't guarantee that it's going to work in the future. So if really, for example, if this were I'll make something up. If this were a hotel brand, and you were thinking that the button to push for them is the vanity button, the pride of address, right? That's dropping the name of your hotel, says something about me as a guest that is flattering to my ego, and I like to be able to say I'm staying here, and because my friends will be impressed, and it will buy me some social credibility, et cetera, right? That's worked in the past. Lots of brands have done that. Maybe not so much anymore. Maybe we need to find out that something has changed, that vanity approach is no longer the most compelling language to speak to them in. And maybe now what they want is a sense of sanctuary. Maybe now they have gone more inward and they are looking for an experience that takes them out of all their concern about perception of others and gives them this moment of respite and this moment to rejuvenate and to be away from all the workaday responsibilities that they have in maintaining their home and entertaining guests and providing for their family's emotional needs. But it's like, I get to exhale and I get to be served. Maybe that's the new thing that they want. But if we didn't have the conversation to find that out, that was actually their genuine love language, that this acts of service, right? That's what I think we just expressed. This acts of service is what they want and appreciate most. Then that's something that we would be much more successful in addressing. We need to be flexible enough in our approach that we are willing to abandon the things that have worked maybe even wildly successfully in our past, and stop banging our heads against the walls trying to ram that round peg into the square hole and go, wait a minute. Maybe we just need to pause here. Let's just park that and let's re-engage into some conversation. Let's abandon the assumptions and re-engage into a deeper conversation and ask questions that we haven't asked before, or ask them in different ways that we haven't before, and then really shift into listening mode. It sounds easier, but it isn't. Having one-on-one conversations with people in a very in listening mode, active listening mode, is not an easy thing to do. But if we are able to actually do it, push down our ego, that we know, that we are the professionals, we know how this should work, and surrender to the very real likelihood that we don't know what will work until we ask them what they actually want, and be open to hearing what that is, because they may want something that you or I don't personally find appealing. So there's this dissonance between what my instinct is about what they should love and want and what they actually do. And I need to be able to accept that those flowers weren't what she wanted at all. She, in fact, got really turned on by me cleaning the kitchen. And cleaning the kitchen isn't my favorite thing to do, but making connection really is. Find out what their love language is. Be willing to abandon your assumptions and the default approaches that you've taken, even though they've been wildly successful in the past. And open yourself up to the new possibility that you can add a new bag to your trick and be more successful than ever because you listened. We listened better than ever. All right? Peace.